Well, Monday, at least the horse side of it, has concluded. I was wondering how do you say your last name? Ursioli. There is no shot on planet Earth I would have got that.
No one gets it.
So Vince Ursioli is up from Buffalo. Now, you moved to Buffalo to be the bookkeeper there.
Yes.
Okay, so where were you before that? You were in
New Jersey.
New Jersey?
Yeah.
Oh, you're getting around.
By Freehold, New Jersey.
Oh, my. Well, there you go. I only raced at Freehold one time.
I picked you up at the airport.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You get a good memory. I raced the Deal filly.
Yeah, Blue Bayou Deal.
Blue Bayou Deal that day. Yeah. Both weeks. She raced very good. That stake is actually in the middle of Lexington because I remember I drove her in the afternoon and flew back for the sale at Lexington that night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. So today I had Vince got to see it all. We got to train all the horses, so we had a lot on the go. You saw me gallop the horse.
Yeah.
I was just trying to be nice to him and put some work into him. He hasn't come back good, and my partners know this. Vaquero Blue Chip, he just seems to. There's a step missing. There's something missing with that guy. I trained him hard here the other day, and again he was a little soft. And we entered him accordingly. We put him in the maiden claimer. And I don't have any issues with that at all. And that's the one thing that I think is most important when you're bringing the 3-year-olds back is to put them in where they can do their best, right? And I don't know, nobody even notices. Well, 2 of our clients did. Certainly my partners on Purple People Eater did. The best filly in Ohio last year raced in the Breeders' Crown Sugar instead.
Okay.
Yeah. Virgil just stuffed her right in the Buckeye Series, and nobody could understand why he did that. Well, it was genius, is what it was, because there's a series coming up that says horses that raced in the first Buckeye can race in this now It's a 2 series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're may as well just write him a check.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Please don't show up. And it's going to be a walkover for him. Now, we just went through a literal walkover with Tactical Mounds the last 2 starts, but Sugar instead, and certainly not to diminish the ability and capability of Purple People Eater or any other horse, but they want no part of Sugar instead. So that was upsetting to see, but a brilliant tactical move by Virgil Morgan, that is for sure with her. Now, as I said, I galloped Vaquero. I didn't want to gallop him hard today. I just wanted to give him a good workout. He just feels to me like he's in a funk, and I don't know why. He just started back, but our job is to try and shake him out of that. So I just gave him a little galloping today, and he felt great pulling up, and he felt good going back to the barn. He ate his lunch, so we're on the right track, hopefully, with him. And we had a number of other trainers. You got to see Captain Incredible go today.
Yeah,
now, I wanted to train Captain Incredible away from a group setting because he's a super competitive horse. All those pacers are going around 13 to 15 right now, and I didn't want to just throw him to the fire and say, well, you should be able to do this easily, considering what everybody's been saying about you. This should be a walk in the park. There's not going to be any assumptions made. So I trained him in almost 16 and 4, 17 today, last half in 105. He was very, very good today, and it was a good workout for him. I don't actually think I would have liked going in 13 or 14 with him. He was very comfortable where he was today. The only 2 actors today, the ones that acted up, were Dancing by Myself, and I say this to people all the time. You get to see it today. So Gypsy Hill has a similar gait and does the same things that Dancing by Myself does. Interferes behind, gets out of gear in the turns, is prone to making breaks when he's agitated, and you could see how agitated he was today. He was angry today. And the changes that we made to his shoeing are very similar to the ones we made to Gypsy Hill. Now, Gypsy Hill, different horse immediately. Qualified in 57, looks like Gypsy Hill. Now, finally, it didn't take as long as I thought it would, but he now looks like Gypsy Hill. Whereas the other horse struggled today. Made lots of breaks, was acting up, and it wasn't that he was being rude. He was frustrated. I could tell, and that's why I just took him off the track, went back to the barn. I said, okay, rather than reversing everything, rather than walking this shoeing change back, the other change that we made was took the weight off him because we'd added hobbles. So I said, before we start walking everything back and taking everything off, let's add the weight first, and we'll go with him again on Wednesday and see how he is. And as I said to Jason, nothing has to be done in a haphazard way. Nothing has to be rushed. This horse has 10 weeks almost before his first stake. There is no rush with Dancing by Myself. Let's just get him comfortable and back on track, and that's what we're going to do with him. Now, Atrant had made a break today, and I'll send a message out to Dr. Rucker that owns Atrant. It's 99% Atrant. So this is the time of year where the horses go from perfect, and then they start working hard, and then you start to see the little chinks in the armor, right? Little laying on a line a little more than usual, getting out of gear, making breaks, and you have to make sure that you understand what is going on with the horse. Now, what went on with Dancing by Myself today is nothing similar to what went on with a Trant, or what we sometimes we get concerned with Melisandre, or I'm Ready To. These horses, their knees are bothering them a little bit. Same as Gaslight Hall in Ontario. So just don't pretend it's not there. I say all the time, it's a stupid saying, but it's true. When the horses are talking, you want to be listening. And when it comes to those two chimpanzee fillies and the muscle mass colt there and the Marseille colt here, their knees are just what the vets call remodeling, right? And there's some shadows in there. There's some darker places in the bones. You look at them and say, okay, there's some density issues. You got to let that fill in and cool down. Now they can jog.
Right.
It's not like you want to put them in a cast and but you can't train. Okay. So I think we're going to modify their training. You can if you want to roll the dice, but it's certainly not worth rolling the dice over.
Exactly.
So I think what we're going to do is Amy and I and Jason and both Jasons and Dr. Latesse are going to formulate a plan, whereas we can jog the horses 3-4 days a week, put them in that water. I'll show you that when we go back to that water treadmill in the next shed row over is Dr. Latesse's vet clinic, and he has a water treadmill, an aqua treadmill in there. It's really cool.
Wow.
Got a bit of an equine spa, horse spa over there, and it's really cool. So obviously a little bit of exercise, they can put the water up over their knees so they're working, but at the same time not putting them through that concussion of hitting the track. Yep. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to modify it, and none of those horses I mentioned. Again, I'm Ready To, July 15th, same as the other colt. Both the chimpanzee fillies. Now, I was hoping we could have a Trant ready for Oak Grove, but not the end of the world. I would like to have them ready for Lexington, and that timeline looks very easy to get to. I don't know if I could turn left into there. I'll go this way. That timeline is a much easier and accessible timeline for these horses. So we're probably looking at, for Melisandre and a Trant, likely looking at Lexington 2024, which is this year. And I'm Ready To, and Dancing by Myself, I fully expect that they'll be ready to go first part of July of this year also. So these are the things we have to look at, because the timelines are attainable. But if you blow through a stop sign and then they get lame or they get sore, well, one, that's on you. Me in this case, and two, you don't want to injure. You're not just talking about this year, talking about the racing
Future.
Career. Yeah. So you got to be very, very careful what you're doing with them. So today was for me to get a chance to look at a couple of these horses making mistakes and see what is going on. A Trant, I think, same as Melisandre. We're going to augment their training schedule, so to speak. And when it comes to Dancing by Myself, it's not his knees. You could see him getting angry as he approached the turns and making breaks. This is just interfering, and we will get it squared away. We already know how we can make him trot. Somewhat. We can get him back to where he was, which is perfectly fine. I thought we were going to make improvements, and I believe I took a step or two to the left or the right and not on the path we want to be on. So we'll address that over the next week. Now, the other horses did go good. As I said, Captain Incredible was very, very good today. He got a slick gait to him and gets over the ground so effortlessly. It's impressive to watch. He's a nice colt. Blue Ventura trained good today. That was that giant colt you asked about at the end.
Yeah, he looks very good.
I won a mile in 2:13 with him. Now, he doesn't want much more than that right now. That was a good mile for him and a good step forward and a good stepping stone for him. Now, when we go back Friday, we'll aim to go back in 15 or 16. We don't need to continue to advance right away with him. I was really happy with what I saw in 2:13, so let's step back with him just a step. He's a Grape Guy was good. That was that big giant trotter that I came back and put the hobbles on. Yeah, he trained a mile in 2:20, but was very good doing it. Vaquero Blue Chip was one that I galloped. I'm Ready To's on my list, but I didn't actually go with him today. We had taken a closer look at him again. I said, just jog him. We know what we're doing with Melisandre. We know what we're going to try and do with a Trant also. Why don't we just put him on that list also? So he's already 2 weeks into a lighter schedule. He's in training in 2 weeks.
Okay.
We'll just put him in the walker, and then in 2 weeks' time, re-x-ray, and away we go. But again, he looks fine. And the last horse that I went with today was one that I've been paying very, very close attention to, and that is High Hopes. This filly has shown talent, but will make breaks. and has her attitude's been in check. She laid an awful beating on me when we broke her. She kicked the ever-living piss out of me. Yeah, she'd give it to me in the stall the one day. But her attitude has come forward great. She's starting to shine up good. She's getting bigger. As I said to Jason, these are all going to be baby steps. I may have went in 13 or 14 with her today, but you can't go in 13 or 14 in a set. She would just get a little too claustrophobic and frustrated. So, and I wanted to go with the horses that I'm down on Wednesday. So I said, you know what? She does her work well, but when you're stopping and starting and switching gears in a mile, she just gets a little tender. So I wanted to get a good mile into her, and again, back her up to 15 and 16, 15 or 16, and we should be fine. So I was happy with her. Now, running in a bit in the turns, we can opt out of the line pole and go to 2 head poles. But again, I don't want her to start laying on them going a training mile. So everything today was important for me to take note of what they're doing right and wrong, any issues that I saw on the horizon, and we're trying to head them off and stay ahead of them. So that's what we're going to do with the 3 that I mentioned, Trant, Melisandre, and I'm Ready Too. Very, very important. And it is worth noting that if I went out and jogged those horses, you wouldn't know they were sore.
Right.
But I can tell the way they're cornering, the way they're coming in and out of the turns, that something is frustrating them. And it's just a little bit of tenderness, a little bit of soreness. The other horses were very good today, as I said, and happy to see them come forward. I guess the only downside of today with the draw for Thursday, I was hoping that they could get me in the first 2 races. I didn't tell Jason this, but I was hoping they would get me in the first 2 at the Meadows, and then I could drive all the way to Miami Valley and race the later races there. But Miami Valley was happy to accommodate, which I appreciate Jason for saying he would, Jason Bloom. But the Meadows ended up putting us in later, so I can't go. So I think we're going to need a driver for Stay Close and Insider Trading. Now, Insider Trading is a little tricky, but knowing she's tricky going in, I think most drivers will be able to get her around. I just want some baby steps forward with her. I wish I could have drove her. Unfortunately, her class went on Thursday, and I have to be in Miami Valley. So, a busy weekend coming up for sure. I have Thursday, we have all the horses in Miami Valley.
Okay.
Friday, we have Memory and Imagination and Pickpocket in the Meadows. Saturday, we have Arson and do you see Time Is On My Side race today? Man, what a nice
Very
horse.
impressive.
And then Saturday, I'm flying home. I got a flight from... There's 2 types of people. The people that hate flying...
That's me.
You hate flying in general? Oh, I love flying.
If I could drive somewhere, I'll drive.
No, I don't mind it, but what I don't like... I like flying direct, but layovers, I don't mind, especially given the airport, whichever airport it is. You know, whether they have good food there, or whether it's one of the few times of the day where I'm contained.
Unwind.
Well, I'm unwind, I can think, but I'm contained. I can't go somewhere. I'm in the airport. So it gives me time to rearrange my schedule, take a look at things, maybe write some emails to people and talk to some people, and it allows me just to, as you said, unwind. So Friday I go from Pittsburgh at 6:30 to Detroit. Detroit's actually got a very nice airport. Hour and 45-minute layover. That's just up. Now I'll tell you what that is. That's 2 mules. And either I can go to Longhorn or I can go to the Italian place. I know they got a nice Italian place there too.
Okay.
And then fly home to Toronto, and I'll either get a Uber out to Guelph or somebody will pick me up. I'm not worried about it. So that's what my Saturday looks like, and the reason I'm flying home is because my brother James is getting married on Sunday. So it was great to have you here today. We're pulled up. We pulled up in front of the pizza place. Vince offered to buy pizza. And I took him up on it. So we got pizza for the crew. Everybody worked hard today. I went with 11, I think, today, and I wasn't disappointed. A very telling day, as I said. You might have saw me out there, and they made breaks or whatever, but I'm taking away from that too, right?
Right.
That's a very learning experience for me too. I can see what they're doing. I can see what's not going on, what I'd like to see go on, and then it allows me to try and get to that point. So a very, very important day for us. Very happy with what I saw. And hopefully, it's going to rain tomorrow. Hopefully the rest of the week goes pretty good also. Everybody racing tonight, this afternoon. Good luck. Do you have anything in tonight?
You'll miss it.
You'll miss it. Yeah, you get the 10 hole. It's going to be a little tough. I did talk to Jody the other day, and I said, hey, tough spot to be in. I said, his first start, Louis left with him, and he was pretty soft. You do what you want, but probably better off from off the pace. So we'll see. Anyway, let's go eat some pizza.
Okay.
Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you all very soon.